I'll probably end up wearing a different shirt in the very next clip because I'm not going to finish it today. Not a chance. Hey, Jim! Well, I am coming to you today from my off-road X5. I guess if you write that out, it could be my 4x4x5. Kind of works. Anyway, I have to take it, I'm taking it right now, into a smog inspection. I'm in California, United States, and California has some pretty strict smog rules for good reason. And today, this car requires what they call a star inspection, which every so often you have to go in and have an even more in-depth inspection done. And that's what we're going for today. And I'm pretty sure it's going to pass with no problem. It's got no check engine lights on, all of the service is up to date, so I think we got a good chance. It's not like the Porsche where, you know, that thing's got so many miles on it, who knows what kind of hydrocarbons it's throwing out, but this thing, it should pass. It's got, I think, just under 115,000 miles on it, so keep your fingers crossed. I'm gonna have to take this thing on another off-road trip. The last time was, gosh, a couple months ago when I went across the desert down through the mountains. I'm gonna have to do that again. That's kind of fun. I have to finish the Z4 paint job first. I'm gonna work on that as soon as I get home after this smog check trip. Might even spray some paint later today. Here we are at Smog City. Come on, baby, I know she's got a pass. Yep, she passed. Piece of cake. But I've decided I really hate these white wheels I painted last time, and one of them got scuffed on a curb again. Don't know how that happened, but I'm going to take these wheels and tires off, and I'm going to paint the wheels black again. It looks so much more sinister with black wheels. Yeah, these guys got to come off. Well, I took them off, and I'm actually doing a little more prep on these than I usually do. I am using this stuff and applying it to the wheel to fill in any of the chips. And there were places where over the last year or so, I've repainted these wheels a few times from curb rash. And they had a bunch on them when I first bought the car as well. And I used a Dremel, and I kind of ground the road or the curb rash smooth. And, you know, it left kind of a wavy, crappy looking finish. It wasn't really that good of a job. But this time I'm going over it with some of this spot putty and filling in and smoothing stuff out. Let me show you. So, like right along the edge here, there was some chips in the paint, and I have filled it with this spot putty, and then once the spot putty completely dries, I'll go over it with some 220 grit sandpaper and smooth all that stuff out, and then we paint it. And we end up looking like this. So they're coming out pretty good. Yeah. I think it looks so much better in black. And here you see, I took these little trim rings off, and I did kind of a marbleized effect on there by, I sprayed, they were originally yellow. Well, not originally, they were yellow. I think originally they were probably gray, like that kind of gray. But what I did here is I sprayed over the yellow with some like turquoise blue, and then I sprayed right over that with a different kind of dark blue, and it kind of marbleized, which is pretty neat. Well, I think. Kind of silly, but that's what I did. Let's see how it looks. There we go. That's kind of cool. I'll probably paint them black next time I have the wheels off. It looks so much better. Ah, I gotta have black wheels. Yeah, you think? But wouldn't you know, all good deeds come with a punishment, I suppose. It took me a couple of days to actually do the paint job on the wheels, so they were off the car and away from it for a while, and that kind of freaked out the tire pressure monitor system, it would appear, because since I put them back on, the car's been asking for a reset, and I haven't bothered to do it. And then another interesting side effect of that is now I'm getting battery warnings. So I'm hoping that it's because of my failure to reset the tire pressure monitoring system that particular module is not going to sleep at night. So it's continuing to drain the battery down overnight. Because when I go to start the car the last 2 days, it does things like when you go to unlock it, the little outside lights don't come on. When you turn on the ignition, the clock has been erased and the trip odometer has been erased. It's all at 0. So I think that's the car trying to save startup power by eliminating other stuff. At least that's what I kind of understand from reading a couple of blogs earlier today about it. So I'm going to get in the car and try to reset the tire pressure monitoring system, and hopefully that will make it so I don't have to buy a new battery and put that in and get into all of that. Here's what we get at startup here. Okay. Says I'm low on fuel, and it showed the tire thing, and then over here it goes to set pressure in all the tires and then reset. So I'm assuming that means that that module never goes to sleep. And you'll see here, now that I drove it almost 4 miles and then it's only sat for about 15 or 20 minutes, it did not erase the odometer again. It still holds the 3.7. But if I go overnight, it'll be at 0. So let me reset the tire pressure monitor. Okay, to reset the tire pressure monitor, you want to make sure all of your tires are set to the correct pressures. You want to turn on your ignition switch without starting the engine, or you can start the engine. Let's see. And then I have to push down on the center of the iDrive, and it gets us here. So we want to get down to vehicle and tires, right there. Tire pressure, right there, and reset. Reset TPM, yes. Resetting. I know some of these cars you have to drive them for it to actually take, but this one doesn't say that, so, or not yet anyway. That's how you do it. And then I'm going to set the time also, since that got wiped out. Okay. So that looks like it worked. We're going to come down to date and time. And I'm going to set the time. And then we'll be good. Well, I decided to drive it around the block a little bit anyway, just to make sure that the tire pressure monitor reset actually takes. And I set the date and the time, and now it's barking at me because I'm not wearing a seatbelt. Hold on. Okay, seatbelt's on. Now, with any luck at all, whoa, oh, V8, baby. With any luck at all, that will solve our battery issue, our battery warning light that's been coming on. With any luck at all. And it's interesting how something as innocuous as a tire pressure monitoring system that I didn't bother to reset for a couple days was causing battery failure problems. At least that's how I'm hoping it is. Anyway, in a quick recap on the Z4 project. I have finished all of the body work. I have gone over the whole car and blocked the whole thing, and I started out with 150 grit to get everything as smooth and get rid of all of the existing orange peel that was in the original paint job. And then I switched over to 220 and I blocked the whole car in 220. And now the next step is I'm going to go over the whole thing in 320. And then I'll probably go over it one more time with 400. And then I'll paint it. And I'm going to paint it in the next couple days. I know you don't believe me, but I really am. I'm going to paint it very soon. Thanks for watching. Yeah. Woo!